was a miserable day in the summer of 1915. Colin, the oldest engine on the North Western Railway, was at the main station at Vickerstown. He had just stopped when he heard an unfamiliar whistle. Now, who could that be? As he wondered, a small orange-coloured tank engine rumbled into the station. The tank engine had 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He looked very nervous. Hello there, what's your name? Thomas. Pleased to meet you, Thomas. My name's Colin. I work on this railway. I guess. Cheer up, what's the long face? Oh, it's nothing. Just then the fat director arrived. Good morning, Thomas, is it? That's right. I hear you'll be joining us for a bit. I guess so. Well, we do need more engines, so I thought I would like you to work here, Vickerstown, shunting coaches for the others and sorting out the goods yard. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thomas puffed away slowly, unsure what to think of this new place. Poor engine. I wonder what's the matter with him. Thomas enjoyed his run down from Vickerstown. He liked being on his own rather than having to talk to other engines. When he reached the station, he was smiling. A maroon engine was just leaving and it whistled warmly. Thomas also noticed a smaller engine on the lower track. The engine, Skarloey, looked over. Hello, you must be new. Yes, they need a bit of help here. They certainly do, with the war and everything. Well, yes, war. Is it a yes or a no? Yes, spluttered the tank engine. He looked down at his buffers. It's big, isn't it? What is? The war. I know. I've been a part of it. Well, I guess we all have. Taking supplies, dealing with the explosives, stuff like that. No, I mean, I was there, at the port, seeing all the soldiers, seeing the wounded. It was where I worked for the past year or so. I've been the main engine taking troops to and fro from the ports. Oh, I see. Thomas was now back in his original mood. He steamed sadly away towards the main works. When he got there, he had a huge surprise. Next to him was an engine that looked identical to him, except for brown paint and a gold funnel. Hello, you must be Thomas. It's nice to see another engine of my type. Yeah, we're not doing so well on the mainland. So I've heard. See you around. Chocolate steamed away and Thomas was left alone again. He liked being on his own. It was nice to reflect. He soon had a nice new coat of paint. It was blue and had a big yellow number 1 on the sides of his boiler. The tank engine he'd seen earlier backed down into the space next to him. Hello, my name's Lily, and Colin told me you're Thomas. You do look different. Yes, I do like a new repaint. It makes you feel like you really belong somewhere. And that's great! We do need you at the moment. I feel the war is getting the worst of us. The war? Oh. Thomas, are you okay? Oh, it's nothing. It's just... Thomas, is there something you want to talk about? Thomas sighed. I worked in Brighton along the south coast. This is where all the troops were going across from France. I was only supposed to be working in the yards, but I ended up pulling carriages full of soldiers. I took them to the port, but never returned back with empty coaches. Soldiers with wounds were coming back in their hundreds. Some were blind, others had no limbs. Some died on the journey to the hospital. Others were shell-shocked and would shout and curse in languages I didn't even know. I saw one man having a fight with an army official who was trying to take his gun off him. The official was shot by the man before he was taken down by two more and taken off to the mental hospital. I hated it. Oh, it must have been scary. It was awful. I fear it may scar me for life. Was your manager compassionate? No, my manager didn't seem to care. He'd been in another war himself and had damaged his left hand, so was unable to fight in this war. He didn't even seem to care or listen to our feelings, like the day he sent me off here.
Now, Thomas, you'll be leaving us today.
What? But why? How?
The North Western Railway and the Island of Sodor needs a shunting tank engine. I said you'd do it. They pay good money. Besides, we don't need so many of you unreliable bills. Goodbye.
And that was all he ever said to me. He walked off and I never saw him again. Were the other engines supportive of you? Oh yes, one engine named William helped me the most. It can't be that bad, Thomas. It may get the war things out of your mind. I doubt it. Watching soldiers die as they arrive at the docks, the image is sticking in my smoke box. I understand, but think of Barry too. We're all going through it. We just have to stick together. Barry had been an engine working on their railway until a few weeks ago when he had a serious accident. I understand, William, I just don't like any of this. I wish it would just stop. And that's that. I left and travelled up here. I can't get those awful things out my head. I understand, Thomas. I hope we can all be as supportive as your friend was. You hopefully won't see any more traumatic experiences like that. Lily set off, feeling very sad for her new friend. Thomas was soon ready as he arrived at Vickerstown, where Colin was waiting.
Now that is one smart coat of paint.
I know, I rather do like it.
Well, here's your new boss. The station master will be giving you your orders.
Ah, Thomas, glad you could make it.
I'll give your driver the schedules. Take Colin's coaches away and then we can see how you manage trucks.
Yes, sir. Thomas smiled. He was eager to begin work. "10 minutes later, Adam arrived, excited to see Thomas.
So, you're the new shunter that seems to be the talk of the railway?
I am. Well, I guess so. Let me fetch your coaches.
Well, this is classy, not having to fetch my own coaches. I'll go and turn around.
Thomas gently buffered up to the coaches and began to move towards the main platform. He carefully moved along the platform, looking at the different people who were waiting to board Adam's train. His eyes fell upon one man in an army uniform. He turned to face Thomas, and Thomas saw one of his eyes had been patched up. He was an injured soldier. Suddenly, all the distant memories came flooding back to him. Oh my! Oh no! Thomas steamed forward, suddenly knocking his driver off balance. The coaches rammed into the back of Adam. Luckily, no one was hurt.
"What on Sodor do you think you're doing?"
Adam exclaimed. I got distracted. I don't know what came over me. The drivers of the two engines jumped down and inspected the two engines. Adam's back buffers were damaged, as were Thomas's front buffers. Oh dear, and on my first day too. Chocolate arrived with the breakdown train to put the coaches back onto the rails.
Oh my, what happened? That new buffoon! He can't even shunt coaches properly!
Adam's front buffers weren't damaged and he was able to shunt Thomas to the works. He was very cross. Nobody spoke. Adam was annoyed with Thomas and Thomas was worried that he lost his chance of doing a good job. Adam and Thomas were both at the works and surprised to see Lily. What on earth happened to you two?
This clumsy engine rammed some heavy coaches into me.
I wasn't concentrating, Lily. I feel stupid. Just then, Chocolate arrived with the damaged coaches. Don't feel bad. Accidents happen. It's just, well, we're short of engines now with the crisis. And the war. Don't say war again. Do you hear me? Please, I don't want that word to be said. Thomas, please, can you try and calm down? Don't tell me to calm down! I told you about my experiences and now you're all making this worse! What they didn't know was the fact director was outside listening to the whole conversation. Thomas, wars are just stupid, don't let them get to you. That's what you think. Just be quiet, Thomas. You can't blame all your accidents on the war and then we'll think we'll be like, oh Thomas, that's fine. You've only put me out of action for a bit whilst everyone will struggle without me. No bother! Adam! Oh, come on, that's literally what he just said. I never... Silence! Boomed the fact director. He had heard everything and had seen enough. I think we should leave this matter now. Thomas, you will be repaired, but I don't want any more occurrences like this. He left quickly, leaving Thomas very upset. Lily, I told you earlier I felt part of the railway, being repainted and all that, but actually... At this moment, I can't feel further apart from you all. I don't think you understand. I guess you never will. So please just leave it. I need some time alone. Thomas stood outside the shed. He began to wonder whether Sodor was the place he belonged, or a place he felt unwanted.